The holiday season typically generates extra revenue for toy companies, but that may not be the case in the near future. President-elect Trump's promises to impose tariffs on countries like China, Canada, and Mexico may lead to price increases of some everyday items, including toys. In 2023, U.S. retail sales of toys generated $28 billion, according to the Toy Association, which was actually an 8% decline from the previous year. And with 85% of toys sold in the U.S. being imported from China, industry experts say these potential tariffs would ultimately cause substantial harm to consumers and the industry as a whole. Scott Horsley has been following this story. He is NPR's chief economics correspondent. Scott, thanks for making time for us. What are you hearing from toy company executives about these tariffs and any plans to make up potential deficits?
Well, obviously, these tariffs are not going to affect toys being purchased during the current holiday season, but toy companies are already looking ahead to, Christmas 2025. They're planning their manufacturing, they're pricing their products. And when they go to trade shows, when they talk to their vendors, there's a lot of concern about what the president-elect's threatened tariffs would mean. As you say, 85% of the toys right now are manufactured in China. A 60% tariff on toys next Christmas could result in a substantial price hike. And again, that price would be paid by the U.S. importers and ultimately by their customers, not by the Chinese manufacturers.
Why don't more toy companies manufacture their products domestically?
Well, decades ago, they did do a lot of their manufacturing domestically, but starting in the 1990s and probably accelerating in the current century, most of the toy manufacturing has moved offshore, first to South Korea and then to China. It's just a question of cost. It's much more cost effective to manufacture a labor-intensive product like toys in a place like China than here in the United States, where labor rates are much higher and where we've got very low unemployment. There's just not a workforce here to do this kind of work. Now, there are still some toys manufactured in the United States. They tend to be big toys that would be bulky and hard to ship from overseas. They're often made of extruded plastic, which is not very labor intensive. But for anything from a toy to an electronic game or a doll, it's going to require some man hours or per people hours to put together. That's probably going to be done someplace else.
How soon could consumers see prices jump, and by how much?
Well, again, if the products are coming from China and the president-elect makes good on his threat to impose a 60% tariff, most of that would likely be passed on to consumers. It's possible that some of it would come out of the toy company's profit margin, but most would be passed along. So, for example, a company that makes Tonka trucks told me a Tonka dump truck that sells for $30 today might be $45 next Christmas.
Wow. And would Christmas be the soonest? Or, I mean, kids have birthdays all year. Would we see some impact sooner? Obviously, it all depends on what he does.
It could happen sooner, sure. Yeah. I talked to Jay Foreman, who runs a toy company down in Florida, and he's on the government affairs committee of the Toy Industry Association. He worries that the tariffs could kick in right in the back to school era and the last few months of the year, which is when the toy business does the lion's share of their sales.
Scott Horsley, very interesting. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be with you.